everyone, welcome to a brand new edition of the Triple Trio, our weekly look at all things Hong Kong racing. It's heating up towards HKIR, best form analyst in the business is that man, the Hutch Buster. And don't forget the Hall of Famer in Raymond Shane Dye. Hello, mate.
Yes, how's it going, Richo? Looking forward to this weekend. This is the build-up to the HKIR with all the key players, so a lot to get through. We've got J-Mac as well. Wow, can't wait.
Yeah, Tony Gollan's going to join us on our show. Golden Boy, always brilliant to see you. So this is where the locals do battle, getting ready for the internationals to arrive.
Yes, and it's a great day's racing. 3 very good horses, of course. Ka Ying Rising, Galaxy Patch, and what's the other one? Romantic Warrior, of course.
Yes.
How could you forget him?
So we've got the sprint 1,200 metres, 1,600 metres, the good mile, and of course the 2,000 metres, all Group 2 races. Absolute beauty. Hey, before we get stuck into that, let's reflect on last week.
Well, let's hope that we can have a little bit of luck with Voyage Samurai. I think there's a couple of Quinellas that we can take in that race. And as I said a little earlier on the show, I think the horses will take a silo. I'm very confident, though.
Voyage Samurai in front with 150 to go. Silo's trying to get close. Prince of Porty as well. Up the inside, Star Mac. Still Voyage Samurai from a wall chasing. Voyage Samurai from Silo and Star Mac.
Hopefully he can just continue on the upward trajectory.
Do you think he can beat Wonderbar?
There are pros and cons to it all, and as long as he puts his right foot forward, I think we'll see a good competition between them.
Wunderbar coming after Magic Control. Magic Control in front, and Magic Control, I think, just held on. Top Time motoring home. It's Top Time out after Circuit Duffy. Young Horizon through in the centre. 3-way go. Circuit Duffy. Circuit Duffy held off Top Time and Young Horizon in a great finish.
And the only thing that stopped me from getting the quaddie was a typhoon hit. Hutch, tell us about it.
Most unfortunate, wasn't it? We lost the last 3 races. Shane up in Hong Kong during the week. Can happen a bit earlier in the season normally, but this is pretty late, but it was a bit of a shame because it was a good end of the card, but safety first.
Yeah, there was a couple of really good races later in the day, which is a shame. Just going back to Wonderbar and Magic Control, It's amazing up the straight when there's times. I see it all the time, and I brought it up last week before the race. I had Wonderbar on top. I didn't bet in the race, but I said then, it's amazing. You get these races. Magic Control runs 55s. Wonderbar's never run a time up the straight, never. And it happened again, but you think he's going to win, and I had him on top, but you just got to trust those times up the straight when you're looking for winners.
It's a really good point. I think in thoroughbred racing, Golden, unlike in a former career I had in track and field where everyone is a slave to the time because you're running on similar surfaces, whereas horse racing, different surfaces. But I am surprised how little punters, general punters, concentrate on actual times.
The raw time, yeah. Well, I mean, Shane brings up a good point. What you do have to adjust is how the track was playing on a certain day, and, you know, you can get a little tailwind on occasion down the straight, or a headwind sometimes too. But, there wasn't really much between them, even when you adjust for sort of track times or the raw times. In the past, and it certainly paved the way. Of course, Wonderbar was still good, 1,200 back to 1,000 as well.
Yeah, and then I'm waiting for wind gauges to come in, like they do in track and field.
Yeah.
Straight races, the wind gauge, so they've run 55.94 with a 3.6 tailwind.
Well, we've seen a lot here, Shane, even during the Spring Carnival, with southerlies or northerlies and how it can affect Flemington and Caulfield in particular. I mean, you get probably a lot more wind in Australia than you do in Hong Kong, but it does come up from time to time at Sha Tin.
Yeah, it does. Caulfield was unbelievable, though, Clint. I couldn't believe Caulfield. Like, you just had to be on pace. Anything that was back had no hope, and you just wanted to back them at Flemington. You go through that carnival and have a look at Flemington, how many horses that run well there that ran poorly at Caulfield, and have a look at how many horses run well at Caulfield and went poorly at Flemington, vice versa. It's incredible. And that's track.
Yeah, it was remarkable. Yet apparently by some analysts, there was no bias at all at Caulfield.
Don't know about that.
Yeah, don't know about it. Hey, James McDonald, Tony Gollan, special guest, all the usual features, absolute beauties, and of course, HUTCHI'S form files, a little look at global racing as well. But first, let's get stuck into what's going to be our cracking day on Sunday at Sha. Let's start our analysis of key races on Sunday with the sprint. The Group 2 sprint, who do you like?
Oh, well, he tips himself, HKIR Rising, doesn't he? And he's going to be very short. He'll be shorter than what I put him at. It will actually be interesting to see what the public have HKIR and Romantic Warrior. I mean, there's a little bit more depth in the sprint. California Spangle will attract attention. We've got Helios, who is fantastic, but it's a big weight swing for him. But great to see Hugh Bowman back on board. But gee, I mean, Helios, have a look at him here. His final 600 was off the charts good after doing no early work. But the key positive for HKIR Rising, he can take a position, he's fit. He actually meets these rivals on better terms as well, some of them on better terms, Shane, and it was an effortless victory.
Well, he meets them about 13 pounds better, I think, isn't it, Clint, or something?
Yeah.
It's a lot of weight, or what is it, 6 pounds, 8 pounds, some 13, it's huge. He wins, Clint. He's just too good for them. Unless something goes wrong with him. He has to win. I've got him on top from California Spangle from Helios Express.
Yeah, it's an interesting race because, you know, he nearly broke the track record there, and it was racing fast on the day, but still he was eased down late. So he's really posting big times. I know I did hear something Timeform had him rated as the best sprinter in the world as well off the back of that win. So he's by a lot of different people's measures, he's putting it up there. I think it was might have been a pound better than what Switzerland did as well. So he's a pretty talented horse.
He damn straight he is. During the week, Nicole Purton caught up with his trainer, David Hayes.
It's been really good. He went straight up to Chung Fa for recovery. There's such good facilities, and he hasn't missed a beat. He's had a couple of nice gallops up there, an easy trial, and he's come back. Luckily, we worked him yesterday. The track was closed today in anticipation of a typhoon, and so he got the work into him. He'll have a trot this afternoon, and we'll have it really ready to go for the weekend.
Bring it on. California Spangle is in the race, and Nicole also caught up with Breton Avdulla to see how his prep is.
Yeah, really happy with him, Nicole. I think he's in good order. I was happy with his trial. Come through it well. He's drawn nice enough there on the weekend. So, yeah, I'm really positive with how he's going to perform there on the weekend.
And do you think you can turn the tables on HKIR Rising?
Oh, it's going to be hard. You know, he probably meets him pretty similar to the weights. He gets obviously a bit of weight difference off the others, but the HKIR Rising's got a bit of a wider draw. Might have to do a little bit of work, but the way he won the other day, he's obviously going to be hard to beat again. But my blokes, he's a seasoned performer, and I've got no doubt he'll improve again.
Keen to see him always. He's a headline actor, isn't he, California Spangle? What about Mugen? What have you made of his trials leading in?
Well, he's had the triple weight, and that's what worries me because it can take a bit out of him. It's not the settled preparation that you like. And I think just regard to that California Spangle trial, they ran some time there. I think it was 68.7 or thereabouts. So it was an unbelievable time. So they were humming along. No, Mugen was disappointing for me. I'm going to mark him pretty big. I wanted to see a little bit more. He was disappointing in Japan as well, Shane. That's not to say he can't turn it around, but I just feel that when they've been away and they come back, it usually takes them a little while to settle in.
I think they do it better later in the season, Clint, when they go to Dubai or somewhere in March. They go there, they run well, they come back. I find the horses that go away early, a lot of them don't come up. You know, some do, but not. Some don't. I was disappointed in his trial, Clint. I thought he should have done more than that. I can't have him, but I know he's a very, very good horse, and it wouldn't be a surprise if he ran on and placed. But on that trial, you can't have him.
Yeah, he's going to be very short, HKIR Rising, and he should win. Simple as that. But California Spangle will strip that little bit fitter, and we'll see sort of more a bit where they're at. And Helios is the interesting one because the weights are well against him in terms of how he meets, but it's not, as we know, it's not the be-all and end-all. You got Hugh Bowman going on. It was a terrific run from him, of course, when he was first up as well. So it's a factor, the weight, but can he mix it with HKIR Rising? I think that will be one of the main highlights for him.
I'd love to see him in the mile. I just think he'd be absolutely perfect in the mile. I know they want to keep him in the sprint. He looks a 1x3 play for me on Sunday.
Right.
He'll run a drum. Can he knock off HKIR Rising? Well, maybe if HKIR has a bad day, he can knock him off. So he might be a 1x5 if
it's interesting. I mean, I actually don't mind. I prefer him over the sprints. What about you, Shane?
I think it goes a bit like the yesteryears of Lucky Schwernes and Golden 60. It's a do if you're in a no-win situation. You've got a good horse you're taking on in each. Now you're taking on HKIR Rising in the sprint and, of course, Galaxy Patch in the mile.
Yeah.
So it's not easy whichever way he goes.
Yeah.
He's up against a very good horse.
But do you have a preference where he'd be better at, where he's more suited?
I had something on him first up because I thought that race would suit him. He's not suited here at the weights, of course. Everyone knows that. But he's still going to run well. I don't know. I think 1200 suits him at this stage, but when John's ready to step him up, he'll go to a mile. He can run a mile.
Yeah,
We've seen him win over a mile.
Yeah, he can. And he was just a bit keen a couple of times last season when he went to a mile, but you might be right. I'm certainly not penning him over a mile. I just like him over 1200 with his speed in a race, and he can settle, and he's got an unbelievably good turn of foot.
So it's HKIR Rising, looks to be, and he'll be nice and short when he get to the sprint. So then we get to the mile. What are you thinking here? Do you go with the Mighty Galaxy Patch? And what price? That's interesting. You reckon we'll get red figures?
Yeah, I do, because Ricky Hughes come out in the local press and said that he thinks he can turn the table on Galaxy Patch, and I think that will have an impact in the market. Maybe not late when the bigger teams step in, but it'll have an impact in the market for sure. And Beauty Eternal will strip a little fitter. Chan Chang's got a bit of ground to make up. But once again, Voyage Bubble just gave Galaxy Patch the perfect card into the race. I know you love this ride as well, Shane. It was a fantastic ride. I mean, everything went right for Vincent this day.
Yeah, it did. And the other horse didn't have the best of runs. He could lead if he wanted to on Voyage Bubble here. I don't think Zach's going to be in a hurry to lead on Beauty Eternal like he has been its last two starts, but he may end up in front. He's probably better just taking a sit if he can. But what leads then?
But that's the thing. I think they've got a chance to run. J-Mac goes on. Look, he wasn't stopping there after a wide trip either. And the problem, Shane, there was that when he was sort of in no man's land out there, it sets up perfectly for the horse with a great turn of foot like Galaxy Patch. If he gets it right and J-Mac decides to go forward or gets the instructions to go forward, he'll have a 3 or 4 length buffer between him and Galaxy Patch. And if he can get his sectionals right, well, I could easily see a scenario where he does beat him.
Yeah, so can I, especially if something goes wrong with the other horse back in the field. The only other horse that probably leads is the bottom one, Changhing Glory. Yeah. Now, he's got the blinkers back on. So, when he's had the blinkers on, he can get keen and be up there a bit closer to without them. So he could lead. There's a few there, but there's no real true pacemaker in this race.
Yeah, no, I would love to see Ricky Yu give the instructions to J-Mac to be positive from that wide draw, because there is no leader. As you look at that pace, really Chan Cheng from low gate settles handy, Beauty Eternal. Zach may decide to park outside him, but I think Zach would be happy to go 1-1 on Beauty Eternal and then, follow Voyage Bubble in the race. And Galaxy Patch is going to be last or near enough to it. So the map is really important in that race. And yeah, it's I could shorten in Voyage Bubble very easily, but if I knew he was going forward, I'd have him a lot shorter.
Okay.
I'd have him a lot
He's
shorter.
got the right barrier to do what he wants. It's just perfect. If you gave me a barrier to pick on Voyage Bubble this race, I'm taking 9, not 1.
Yeah.
Right.
He can do what he wants on him. He can go back, he can go forward, he can go 200 metres and see how the paces, how they're going. And if they're going too slow, he might be 3 deep. He can press to the front. Or else, if they're going too quick, he'll get in one off the fence somewhere. It's perfect barrier.
Yeah,
okay,
we don't forget as well, he ran second Voyage Bubble to a pretty good one last year in the Hong Kong Mile in Golden 60.
Damn good one.
Very good run.
And he was a massive price.
Yes.
Hey, boys, who was tipping him 2 years and backed him at about 50s and told you to back him?
Was that Hutch?
Can't remember.
Good spot.
I was in the car going to the races with you, telling you to back this horse.
Mate, we had you on mute, mate. I can't remember anything you said. Who do you like in this? Are you with Galaxy Patch? I mean, he looks the obvious one. That's who Hutch is. What about you, Shane?
Yeah, I'm with Galaxy Patch and Voyage Bubble. But if Voyage Bubble turned the tables, it's not a surprise. It's really not. I think he's a very underrated horse.
I reckon the bubble can knock off the patch. There you go.
Yeah,
I'll take the opposite camp.
Okay.
And see if we can knock you off. But they look the obvious Quinella,
Yep.
don't they? Hey, we're going to take a quick break because on the other side of the break, James McDonald will join us and we'll have a look at the 2,000 metre race featuring his favourite horse, Romantic Warrior.
Romantic Warrior, Mr. Brightside, still Alligator Blood, Mr. Brightside coming at it with Romantic Warrior. It's a photo finish. Romantic Warrior has got up by a nose. Romantic Warrior's lead is a length over Luxembourg. HKIR, the old boy, he's going a great race. Straight Aaron, leader Romantic Warrior, he's clinging on. Luxembourg driving Romantic Warrior, I think.
It's still Romantic Warrior, he's hanging on. Oh, he's a star. Romantic Warrior takes out another Group 1.
Welcome back to the Triple Trio. We're looking at the return of Romantic Warrior. So the perfect man to chat to is the one and only James McDonald, who's jumping on a plane on Saturday night and going reunited with his great mate. Hey, J-Mac, as always, mate, a pleasure to see you. You must be excited to get over there and see him.
Yeah, absolutely, boys. He's obviously it's been a long waiting since Japan, so it'll be great to get back on him. Obviously, he's a brilliant racehorse, and he's it's just always exciting when his name gets brought up and he's back in action. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, he seemed to trial exceptionally well the other day. I know you would have kept an eye on that, and if you haven't spoken to Hugh, he didn't need to. J-Mac, he absolutely flew against some of the sprinters.
Yeah, they said they could easily put him in the 1,200 metre race. He probably would have won it. So that's how good he's going at the moment. He did have pacifiers on the dirt trial.
Yeah.
He's obviously Danny's just trialling an era something for if he does happen to go to Saudi. But yeah, he looks to be trialling really well. He's had a lovely preparation in terms of. He was pretty busy this time last year. He'd already had 2 runs, pretty hard runs too. So he's had 2 lovely trials, 3 lovely trials actually, and had a nice break during the winter, or summer up there now. So he looks in really good form, and Huey seems very happy with him. Danny seems very happy with him. So it's very good.
Do you give Huey some of your riding fee for looking after the horse and getting him ready for you?
What do you reckon the answer to that is?
I wouldn't have thought so, Shane.
Hey, I used to warm Winks up when he just kicked me off her, so return serve.
Mate, he's been trying to boot you off, Romantic Warrior. Don't worry about that. We brought him on the show. He said, by gee, this horse goes well for me.
I bet you it goes well for anyone, but look, if anything happens, I suppose he's the first man, first port of call. So, yeah, he couldn't be a better replacement if anything does happen.
And overall as well, J-Mac, you know, another 6-week stint. So it's a great meeting to go back and kick off the campaign, hopefully on the right note.
Yeah, 100%, Hutch. I'm looking forward to it. The girls are already over there, so yeah, we jump on a plane on Saturday night, get there Sunday, and looks a really nice book a ride. So yeah, I can't wait to get over there for the 6 weeks. It's a brilliant time to be there, and yeah, it's always good, obviously, when Romantic Warriors obviously racing in that period of time too. So 2 starts he has in that period of 6 weeks. So hopefully I can pick up a few more good rides over the time.
Hang on, mate. Look, can I just go back one sec? Did you say your girls have already gone over there? So there's a flight to be going over, 9 hours in a flight with 2 little kids, and you decided to send them out early and you'll go on your own? Is that right?
Well played.
Oh, well, I learned that off Billy Idol. So you need your rest to perform at your best.
And don't have many rides.
Exactly.
You're starting to learn.
Well, it's a nice race for him as we head back to it, and you'll sleep easy on the flight over as well, J-Mac, because when you look at the opposition, I don't think there's a bit of a significant lack of depth in this contest. A couple of other races look like they've they've got some strong depth, but the 2,000 metre races.
So you got him on top.
Got him. Look, he's going to be very short. He'll be even shorter than what I've marked him. And we saw Ensued win first up. That was a good win. Nimbus or Strip Fitter encountered. There's a whole host of horses that could run second in the race, to be brutally honest. But Shane, like, he could start really short. Romantic Warrior on the day, and of course this was Ensued winning, but. He could be $1.10, $1.20. I'm not sure on the day. It'd be very hot.
I think he will be, Clint. I've got him on top, of course. He's not hard to find, especially gate 1, he'll box seat. There's pace in the race. Which one will lead? Car Ying Generation or Money Catcher or something? Winning Dragon could push forward. Here's this race last week. I thought the horse back in the yellow colours ran really well. See him coming through yellow, blue, about 7th or 8th. His name's 5G Patch, and he goes to 2,000 metres, which is going to suit him. I think he'll run a race here, sitting back, circling them or coming through them.
Okay, so that's horse number 3 in 5G Patch. Romantic $1.36.
Yeah, it was interesting listening to what Zach had to say to the Australian media as well when he said, I didn't bother taking a ride in the race. James, hoping that you'd miss the flight and that he might pick it up.
He's always got plenty to say, old Zachy, doesn't he? So... Yeah. He's probably in contact with the pilots as we speak.
Hey, James, I'll tell you something. When you turned up last year, he was riding no good last season. It's different this season. He's riding really, really well. So you better be on your A game.
He's always riding well. Don't worry about that.
Well, you're only giving him 37 head start, Mac. I reckon you can get him, can't you?
I'll give it a crack anyway. I'll have him shaking in his boots.
Yeah.
Might not get to the 37 as quick as he hoped.
Yeah, damn straight. You're shaking his boot. Hey, let's have a look at your rides quickly while we've got you, mate. I think go through.
Well, I mean, James wouldn't have had a chance. He's got the meeting in Australia first, so he wouldn't have had a chance to have a look. But I think you got, outside of the obvious, you got a couple of very good rides. Actually, the bookend. I think Blazing Wind has got a fantastic chance in the first race. This is his most recent run, and he doesn't have a lot of early speed. I think he's the kind of horse that if you let him settle, he'll finish off. He just missed on this occasion from Vincent, and if he brings this sort of form, he's going to go. He's going to go very close. So he looks a great chance for J-Mac. And the other one that I thought would go well outside of the obvious, as I mentioned, was Davano in the last. He's another horse that is really flying. Davano looks a great chance. He chased hot speed here, J-Mac, and he should get a good run on the weekend and hopefully run well for you.
Yeah, he stuck on Gamely, didn't he? But he obviously got to take on Packing Power. Obviously, Zach's riding that one, so he's opted to ride it. But yeah, it looks an even really book of rides. I went through them a little bit just before, but I thought even I think Voyage Bubbles can bounce back. He looks as good a chance as any in that race, and same with the family horse.
Family Jewel.
Yeah, I thought he was a good chance. Mastermind's done nothing wrong, but obviously, by the sounds, it bumps into a good horse, and yeah, they're just solid book of rides. I think I reckon I'll be around
James,
money anyway.
Looking at that, you could be favourite to win the Jockeys Premiership. That's how good they are. Won't be much between you and. That's how good they are, mate. You could even carry some of them. Won't be much between you and Zach. Zach's got two good things.
Challenge? You mean the Jockey Challenge?
Yeah, the Jockey Challenge. Car Ying Rising and Packing Power, they look good things. So there's 2 winners. But James, of course, has got Romantic Warrior, who's a good thing. And then he's got a lot of very good chances. So there won't be much between you and Zach.
Yeah, and I read an article that Huey said he's got a really strong book of rides as well. So, yeah, it sets up pretty well. Obviously, the first real meeting before the 3 weeks out from the international, so everyone's starting to fire up a bit. And yeah, I'm excited to get up there for the 6 weeks. Be pretty cool.
J-Mac, you mentioned Voyage Bubble. I know you're not going to want to sort of declare your hand or show your hand too much on the show, but it's a race there's not a lot of speed in. And what did you make of his last run? Because we know you know him well. Of course, you rode him when second at Golden 60 last year in the mile, and he's run first up. What did you think of that?
Yeah, he was outstanding. I thought he was stuck on Gamely after obviously doing a little bit of work, and Ricky said he's improved out of sight because he was quite big in conditions. So he to credit to him, he stuck on extremely well. He gave that good horse a card into the race, and it just finished a little bit too strong. But I reckon we can turn the tables. He's a good horse on his day, and he looks to come up pretty well. So yeah, I think he's a terrific hope in that.
Mate, your confidence must be sky high. Congratulations on an unbelievable Melbourne Cup Carnival with 11 winners, mate. I know you really target that carnival. You're really keen to win the Ron Hutchison Award, and you've targeted it. And by gee, you rode well, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was a brilliant week. Fantastic racing. The atmosphere was incredible, and everyone's eyeballs was centred around Flemington. So it was a great day, great week to perform and get on some good horses. And the 4 Group 1 winners that we had over that week, they're just sensational horses. Like, they're as good as you get, and if you threw the colours into the jockeys' room, they'd be scrambling over those sort of rides. So we're pretty lucky in that sense. So it was great to get a few results.
I think to put your achievements...
Yeah, but they wouldn't be winning on them like you do.
Well, Viva Vestina, mate. I think Richo could have ridden it.
I think to put James's achievements into context, and yes, you've got to have the ammunition, but like a most successful Group 1 winning rider ever, Damien Oliver, the most he got during a carnival was 6 winners. J-Max had 10, 10 and 11, broken the record. Like, this is, in Australia, we've had so many great riders in the history, and he's nearly doubled what the norm is. So that just puts you in pretty rare air, mate. So a huge congratulations.
To be fair, Hutch, I think there's more races now, so we might have a few more opportunities to go around. I think
not a lot more.
10, but
not a lot more. Don't be like.
There's a few.
Actually, to put it in perspective, James, you were riding better today than you were a year ago. A year ago, you could make a mistake, and going to Hong Kong really helped your riding a lot. Do you believe that?
100%. Yeah, 100%. This time last year when I did the 6 weeks there, it's definitely flicked a switch. Look, I don't know what it was.
I'll give you a classic example. The Derby this year in Sydney, AJC Derby.
Yeah.
The ride in the race, not the horse. You stayed on the inside, cut the corner. The second horse went around them. The old J-Mac, because it was favourite, would have gone round them. But you decided to cut the corner. That was the difference between winning and losing. And that's one thing I've noticed about you the last 12 months. You're gambling in races, whereas before you wouldn't gamble and you could get beat at the 100 in big races because your horses did too much around the bend. Now you're not riding like that. You've gone to another level, which is hard to believe, but you have.
I wish I didn't gamble on broadsiding in the Caulfield Guineas, Daisy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. That doesn't matter, mate. That's going to happen.
Nah.
You can't look at it like that. You had the track against you. I never look back on things like that, because you're going to win more races the way you're riding than you're going to lose.
Oh, for sure. And I have no doubt that the last 6 weeks in terms of when I rode in Hong Kong definitely turned me into a far better rider. I just opened my eyes a bit more and had to experiment a bit more. So, I'm hoping the same does a little bit for us this time. I enjoy the challenge.
And the Longines rankings have got you right on top, mate, ahead of Ryan Moore at the moment in all the key races. William Buick, Craig Williams, Flavian Pratt, Damien Lane, who will be up to Hong Kong as well. So brilliant to see all the absolute best of the best going to be in Hong Kong during International Week with a host of them featured.
Yes, and what are there 2 qualifying races left both in Japan, I think, aren't they? The Japan Cup and Mile Championship.
Yeah, so that is brilliant. Hey, Mac, just quickly, Via Sistina, there had been some discussion that you jumped off and said we would have won the Melbourne Cup by about 10. I think most people think if that you actually said that, you're 100% on the money. Is that what you were thinking?
I was thinking it when I crossed the line, that's for sure, to be honest. But they chose the right path. Obviously, I think she's rated the best mare in the world at the moment. So
she is.
Obviously to keep that, or the second best horse in the world as well. So that's pretty good. And I think their logic was that she's got, I think, 5 or 6 Group 1s in the autumn to compete in, and so she's still got a lot of racing in her. 20 starts, it's nothing for her, and she just seems to be getting better and better. But you know what? I reckon when I fell off for that day at Moonee Valley, it's dead set kicked her into gear. I don't know what it is about it. I swear to God, she is a different horse since I've fallen off her. She has sparked well into life.
She's got fit.
I still don't know how you fell off it. It didn't hardly stumble.
You're
That's riding with your toes in the irons. I couldn't believe it. I sent it to someone. Another jockey. They said, "How did he fall off that?"
You know, Daisy, you're the second person to say that, and guess who the other person who said that? How did you fall off that horse? It was Hugh Bowman. Hugh Bowman.
See, Huey rides with his feet, doesn't he? His feet in the irons, like I did. Like it would have been impossible for me to fall off that. And I'm not. No, it's true. When you ride with your feet in the irons, right, and a horse does that, it is impossible to fall off it because you still got your balance. But when you're riding with your toes in the irons, you go boom straight away and your balance is gone. 100% it would have been impossible to fall off.
Well, anyway, it's worked out well, hasn't it? It's worked out well. All's well that ends well.
Worked out perfect.
Hey, Gollan, do you want to criticise our special guest anymore before we let him go?
Mate, I've given him a rap. He's riding better than ever.
Oh, thanks. Taking a while.
Still only got one nickname though, mate.
You haven't made it until you got 3, I know.
Mate, we look forward to seeing you in December, buddy. I heard it's drinks on you. God love you.
100%.
You're the best.
Mate.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show. What a champ he is, James McDonald. We better take a deep breath and get stuck into global racing on the other side. Let's touch base with the world of racing and global racing. We turned our attention, Hutch, from a whirlpool point of view over to Germany there with a Group 1 race which was won by Assistant.
Yeah, there's plenty of women winning over there as well. Tor Hammer Hansen, great name.
What a name.
What a name. Wouldn't you like a name like that?
I wish my name was Tor Hammer Hansen.
Well, he can ride pretty well. So, but no, this was one of the fantastic whirlpool meetings that we get to view, and very good performance. So it was pretty popular with the world players as well.
Yep.
Everyone having a wager.
Voting is open right now for the whirlpool moment of the year. Here are the 4 finalists.
Racing inside the final furlong, City of Troy by 2 lengths to Ambiente Friendly, then Los Angeles. What a comeback here by City of Troy. City of Troy bouncing back, 3 lengths clear, a brilliant win.
I've been working in Ballydine for the last 27 years and I enjoy every day of it.
Up the inside, Militarised, wide out Pericles and Militarised fighting it out for the moment. Nugget bursting through, and here he is, Celestial Legend, bombing them wide out. Celestial Legend won the Doncaster.
We're only a small yard, 18 horses, and to get rewards like this is absolutely brilliant.
9 lengths here, and Juddmonte Farm are close. They are 200 metres away from Dubai World Cup success here. He's got 10 lengths now on Senor Muscador. Kabir Khan drops away. Ushba Tesoro coming from a long way back. But this is an absolute romp in the Dubai World Cup. Laurel River, Tygo Shea, take a bow. Dominant in the Dubai World Cup.
Still spread across the course. Cool Hoof Luke just with a fractional advantage. Rashabar over on the far side. Columnist is staying on. Coward of the County is picking up late. Rashabar the far side. Now coming Electrolyte the near side. Running close to the finish here. Rashabar the far side. Close call here. Very close.
Jassa works incredibly hard, as do all of the team at home. They all put everything into it, and we wouldn't be here today without the grooms that do it at home.
Absolutely fantastic. So all Moment of the Day winners will qualify to win the Whirlpool Moment of the Year prize, a VIP trip for 4 to Hong Kong for either the Hong Kong Derby of 2025 or Champions Day. You can scan the QR code to get involved there. Always brilliant to see the grooms rewarded there with their attention, bit of time in the sun.
Yeah, we love all those stories, don't we? So good luck and scan the QR code to get involved.
And also, talking just quickly on Sunday, the QE2 in Japan. Stunning Rose, a terrific winner there. I mean, we know the quality of the Japanese horses wherever they travel. And when they're at home, the racing... You look at that, A, a firm track, but B, the pace is always on. It's fantastic
Yeah,
racing.
it is. I like the way this horse went about the job at hand as well. Really quickened up beautifully in this occasion. And Yeah, in those familiar colours.
Yeah, bring it on, and maybe a road towards the HKIR. And that's the way we go right now. Our road to what's going to be an incredible international week of racing in Hong Kong.
150 to go, Sunline's a length in front. In Prawn lifts, they come to the line. Sunline, the mare of the world, wins it.
As we build up towards the International Week in December in Hong Kong, brilliant to have Tony Gollan join the show. He's taking his star miler Antino over. Tone, thanks for joining us, mate. You must be just so excited about taking him and showing his great skills over the mile.
Yeah, I am. Starting to get excited about it now. Obviously, a lot to organise, and it's obviously foreign territory for us taking a horse away internationally. But as we're starting to get closer now, it's probably more reality, and starting to get very excited about it.
Hey, Tony, the good thing is he's pretty well travelled. Like, obviously, you're based in Queensland. Yeah. You've come down to Victoria. So from that point of view, at least he's got a little bit of experience of jumping on a plane and, and travelling. And it's not a short trip either that he's been on in the past.
Yeah, no, he is. He's a pretty custom traveller. We didn't fly him this year down. We went down by road, but we did fly him last year. So it won't be his first time on a plane, which is a good thing. He's used to being away from home, and he's used to settling into different environments. So, look, I don't envisage the travel being too much of a hurdle, and as long as we can settle him in there quite quickly, get him eating and drinking, things should work out well.
And he's owned by a Hong Kong owner, so that was one of the reasons why you were keen to go?
Yeah, it's quite remarkable, really. You bought him, G2 bought him out of the ready-to-run sales in New Zealand. Owned in Hong Kong. Bred in New Zealand, and now racing back over in Hong Kong. It's a great story. So, it's been something we've been planning for about 12 months.
And this form, I mean, it was great to see him back up the two-rack win with this effort, of course, at Flemington in the Champions Mile. I mean, no slouch, Mr. Brightside, and all the right horses around him as well. Like it was probably, the race of the carnival, or even the spring. And watching this replay as well of Blake Shin take off when he did, we couldn't believe what we were seeing, Tony.
Yeah, they're two very impressive runs. I was always pretty confident we could repeat something close to that effort on Champions Day, and the 4 weeks we had from the Toorak to that race meeting, I was very comfortable with how things had gone for us. And if we can replicate that type of process again into the Hong Kong race, I think we can go there very confident we can get him in the same condition you've seen his last 2 runs.
And tell us about the animal, mate. Is he the sort of horse that can settle into a pretty busy lifestyle over in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that the environment should worry him too much. I mean, most horses in Australia, when you're boxed anyway, it's a very similar style situation, isn't it? The weather over there at this time of the year is fairly kind, so not like we're going there when it's full humidity, etc. But I mean, he's based in Queensland most of the year, so he's used to that sort of weather. But I think he'll settle in pretty well. He's a horse who just likes routine. I give Dave Eustace a call earlier in the week to get a bit of an idea about some routine around Hong Kong training, and I'm fairly comfortable with the routine I think we can get him into and get him there in a pretty consistent level. And like I said, if I can get him to turn up on international night like he did at Flemington 4 weeks after the Toorak, I'll be very happy.
And he's come out of the Champions Mile run really well.
He's probably come out of it a little bit better than the Toorak. Toorak Day, that track was quite firm, and a lot of horses just a touch jarry off it, but I thought he come through the Flemington run that little bit better. We've just followed exactly the same procedure. He's gone to Fulman Park for the best part of a week on the water walker and the grass paddock, and he goes back into his routine at Cranbourne starting this afternoon. So he'll be trained out of Cranbourne until he gets on the plane, and then keep things pretty consistent towards international night.
I know it's a long way out, Tony, but you'll be, I'm sure, having one eye on the mile race this weekend. There's probably not a lot of pace in these races, but I'd say this, it might suit your guy, apart from he's got that stellar form, but just in terms of the pattern, obviously, Shane will tell you as well on that day, can be a nice sort of track for those horses that like to get back and run on a little bit. And I know he hasn't been stepping all that well, but the track conditions could really suit, so that would please you, no doubt.
Yeah, you're right. They do tend to put a bit of pressure on. Horses come from the second half of the field and run on strongly. The pleasing thing, I guess, about Flemington with him was he raced a fantastic effort off a much slower tempo. The Toorak, the pressure built, and then we took off quite early, and obviously he was dominant. But off more of a sprint style race at Flemington, he was still good. So, look, I probably can't control a lot of what the horses do in front of me, unfortunately. Yeah. But if pressure was to build in the race, I think that'd be ideal for him. And a lot of horses have won this mile from being back and getting moving at that 3-4 wide line, getting into the race, which certainly suits our style.
Shane, do you think he'll be competitive? I know he's going to bump into some really good Hong Kong milers.
Of course he will. He's in fine form. He's a very good horse. The track will suit him. Of course, you've got Galaxy Patch and Voyage Bubble, but you've got to gap back to the next few, I reckon, and he fits right in there. He really does. I don't know the Japanese horses, of course, or the Europeans, but the Japanese are always competitive.
Yeah, they're going to be the X factor. When do you arrive, Tone?
I'm not sure yet. Possibly the Sunday or Monday prior. Just get there and just have a good look at the horse as he settles in before we do a bit of work with him on the Thursday.
Yeah, good idea. If you need anyone to show you around,
yeah.
I know there's some likely types that have got their hand up, Tone.
I'll need all the help I can get when I get over there, I'm sure.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll just drop Shane in once on one occasion for you.
Make sure you go to the Wednesday night Happy Valley meeting. It's quite incredible. Any Australian that goes there just goes, oh, my God, what a race meeting this is. It's the best night you'll have at a race meeting.
I'll most certainly be there.
Yeah, that sounds some good advice. Hey, Tone, you could have some company. Docklands, who's been coming through similar types of races, more over the 2,000 metres. We're hearing now that Harry Eustace is saying, hey, Docklands is going to go.
There's a bit of representation from Australia, which I suppose is good to have some other horses to travel over with as well, Tony.
Yeah, that was one of my concerns, actually, because obviously we've got to go to the quarantine barn, and I certainly didn't want him in there on his own. I mean, that would be really out of, something totally out of character for him. But it's great that, the Docklands going over, also, without a fight, going over on Freedman's, and Recommendation, I believe, is going over from Kieran Maher's stable as well. So there'll be a few horses in our quarantine barn, which I think makes life a lot easier for these horses rather than being, on your own in the yard.
Yeah, there's Without a Fight in the yellow colours. Of course, the Cups champ hitting the line absolutely brilliant. And also news coming through that Damien Lane has booked himself for some key rides as well. So that is great news. So Tastira, he'll be riding in the Hong Kong Cup at Sha Tin up against the mighty Romantic Warrior. So once again, Damien Lane continues to be a jockey in great demand wherever he goes. Tone, simply good luck, mate. It's absolutely fantastic you're representing Australia, also representing Queensland. And I know the Hong Kong Jockey Club with the Whirlpool investing into the Queensland Derby is really important, mate. So I'm sure you'll be really well looked after. Yeah, no, it's a massive thrill, for our whole stable, everyone involved with us. And like I said, it's been something we've been thinking about, talking with the owners about for 12 months. So it's been no afterthought. And I'm sure we'll get up there, and if I can turn him out in the same condition as you've seen at Flemington, then he'll do Australia and Queensland, all of us very proud, I'm sure. Great stuff, mate. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you there. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Yeah, great to have Tony Gollan. Form files on the other side. Let's find some future winners with HUTCHI'S form files. Who's the top-rated performance? This didn't surprise me that the overall race rated well, but it exceeded my expectations and off a good speed with Dromberg, Banner and Bottom Up together. Green and White sat back, economical run and proved too strong. But Shane, I know there were a couple in behind that we both like going forward, and this race has gone, they've run quick time. It rated well, and I think the form will stack up very well out of it. Yeah, Sunlight Power was a good run. Of course, Green and White gave it a very good ride, but I think you're correct. There's some nice horses in that will be winning again soon. Yeah, Young Champion out wide, I thought, ran really well. He ran well. Green and White, he didn't have much weight, but he might have come back a better horse as prep. Of course, he won with Huey Bowman on board, but we haven't seen the last of him yet. Sectional Stars? Yes, well, Sectional Stars, this was a really good performance from Atalon Orr and, of course, Kalyang Attack in the same race. They've really rattled off some excellent last sectionals. Atalon Orr actually 21.8 with an 11.11 final last 100. So, geez, he's just etching to win a race, this horse, and I don't know if they'll stick in the distance or not, but these restricted races have... overall time hasn't been fantastic. There's a couple of nice horses coming through them, and Atalon Orr is certainly one of them. I need to put some in the Sweet in Defeat file. Who jumps in? Two from last week. I thought Charity Gain clearly had excuses. I'll ask Shannon about him in a minute. And Top Time, we actually had something on during the week at 50s.
and he ran a gallant second. This was top time, and his actual debut run was a lot better than it may have looked. He made some late headway, he settled back. Gee, this was a good run. Shane, this was a real eye catcher. Of course, Circuit Duffy went on to win the race, but...
Yeah, I was shocked at his odds, $49, because I had him in my numbers and I thought he'd run very well. He's a sure winner, this horse. As you said, his 2 runs have been very, very good this time, and he had improved a lot from last season.
There's a debutant running on Sunday called Johannes Brahms, who comes through Aidan O'Brien's stable in Europe. We've thrown the G1 Goldmine distance profile over it. This is a horse who ran 3 lengths second to Big Evs at Windsor Castle at Royal Ascot Hutch, but also ran second in the Gym Crack behind Lake Forest, who came out to Australia and won the Golden Eagle.
Yeah, that's remarkable, isn't it? So you can see with our great friends at G1 Goldmine where the optimum distances is, and yeah, definitely a horse that makes a lot of appeal going forward.
Oh, he's going to be really interesting to line up, isn't he, to see how good he is. All right, jockeys, time for you to sit up and take notice. It's idle time. Golden Boy, your time to shine. Who caught your eye during the week from a jockey point of view?
Zach is shining. This was a very good ride, Joyful Prosperity. Gate 8, he just doesn't dig it out of the gates. He comes straight across and goes to the fence. Now, this horse only won by, a short half head. If he does anything different during the race, it cannot win. And he just relaxed it there. He never left the fence, and he just did everything right. He's riding so well at present, and he's riding the fence, Clint. We forwarded here to about the 800, and he just stays on the fence 3 back. And you've got to remember, it only just gets there, Clint. It should never have probably, it got the best run to win.
Yeah, it did. And, he was pretty impressive the start prior. It's another one, I suppose, that Huey sort of can't stick with. And overall, this was a fantastic ride. I mean, it made the difference, just taking his time, rallying late. And like I said, Charity Gain from the same race is definitely one to stick with going forward, and was pretty popular on the day for David Eustace. But these similar horses will line up again, and yeah, it was fantastic from Zach, just getting there.
And Shane, interesting, he decided not to go to the in-between horses.
Watch this here. This is a very good ride on this horse. Now, Felix should be showing the kids this. He doesn't dig it at all. Last year when they missed the start, Zig would dig a horse straight away. He's missed the start. You can watch it many times. He doesn't move his hands on the horse. And this is what I keep telling everyone and kids. When you miss the start, do not dig them even for a stride, because if you do, 100 metres to 200 metres on, they'll pull. But if you leave them alone, they've still got all the energy in the world because they're not pulling. If he had dug that horse out of the gates, there's no way it had energy to quicken like this and win. A very, very good ride on a horse who misses the start. And this is what jockeys should do. Just don't move. I know the horse has the ability, Clint, and he had won his previous start. But if Slack had moved on him and went boom, boom, only 2 pumps it takes. So if you miss the start, you go boom, boom, your horse is gone. He won't win.
Right.
Just will not win. They pull too hard.
Runner-up was good then too, Super Infinity in that race. Yep. I think he runs on the weekend, and not a bad effort from the newcomer, Wonder Star as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Golden, I believe you have an observation for us.
Oh, yeah. This was a very good ride from...
Andrea Zeni?
Andrea on Thing. And I want to show you something that some of the boys are doing now. Sight Happy, and it's just wrong. And it might be my fault because I say cut the corner at Happy Valley. But when you're wide and you're circling them, you're not cutting the corner, so your miles will come out. And if you watch Sight Happy here, Brendan is on the outside. All he's got to do is come to the outside, and he's not covering any extra ground or anything in the straight. And you'll see it up here. Yeah, that's a very good ride from
Andrea,
I should say. Very good ride. Nearly got right of the day. But you watch up here on Brendan on Sight Happy. Now, he could have come to the outside, but he goes back in. Why go back in? Come to the outside. When you go back in, you won't get runs. This horse is ready to win this Sight Happy when he gets the right place. He's had no luck at last start. So just watch it. When you're covering ground, you might as well keep going round instead of cutting back in, because you've covered all the ground in the world and you're not giving your horse a clear run. And that horse probably wouldn't have won, but he would have run on and definitely run fourth.
He is ready to win that horse. Interesting observation with that also, he keeps losing his position around the turn at the Valley as well.
Right.
Like he keeps dropping.
Just wobbles around it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. So hopefully when he goes to Sha Tin, he can run well.
You take a drink of water and we'll get the votes time if you don't mind, Golden.
Well, Zach's riding extremely well, as I keep saying, 3. Andre is riding very well, and especially in Australia, he did also a couple of weeks ago. Derek had a couple of winners, and he gave up the lead on that horse, which was perfect, and it was good. Matthew keeps riding doubles and is doing nothing wrong. Luke just doesn't get, and I know I keep saying this, I look at his rides every week and go, oh, my God, why haven't you got better rides? He gave that a perfect ride on Wednesday night, Clint.
Well, maybe
he did.
You need to get involved and start working the phones for him and get him some rides. Zach leads the Idol. Of course, he's trying to do what no person's ever done in history, Hutch, and that's go back-to-back in the Idol.
That would be an achievement.
I mean, that might be in a Sport Australia Hall of Fame after that. I mean, if you can go back-to-back in the Idol, it's rare.
Sort of J-Mac areas.
Well, it's way beyond J-Mac. He hasn't been able to do it. So there's our look at the Idol. A quick break. Let's find best bets. Before we get into our best bets, a friend of the show has had a very significant milestone during the weekend, the world-famous Gerard Mosse.
Oh, Gerard. We love Gerard. And, he was the most successful rider in international races in Hong Kong until Zach beat his record. And it was great. He's grown up in a family. I think his father was a trainer, Gerard, and this was very popular. He waited a long time, Shane, to start training.
Be a trainer.
Yeah.
But I love Gerard. Well, I've stayed in contact with Gerard over the years, one of the few jockeys I have, and we've always gone on very well. Outstanding jockey in big races. He could cover ground, but he always had the horse balanced and going forward. Of course, he won a Melbourne Cup, and you wouldn't get a better ride when he won a Melbourne Cup. Outstanding jockey, but not only that, he's a fun person. I've been in some situations with him, and you just piss yourself.
A lot of the things we just can't tell you them on the show, but trust me, he's a lot of fun. Well done, Gerald. We salute you. Best bets. Hutch, lead us away. Who do you like? Best bets, come on.
Best bets, well, I think J-Mac can kick off his stint with a win. I think he's got a great chance. One of my better bets will be on Mark Win, however. That's in race 4, number 5, and I think we can take a couple of quintillas in that race. I don't think there are too many chances actually in that. I think the pattern went against Mark Win the other day, so happy to stick View of the World in an amazing run. So Vinnie Ho will ride, of course, View of the World, but Derek Long rides Mark Win. And I thought in the first race, Blazing Wind had a good chance with J-Mac as well.
Oh, okay. So race 1, number 1, Blazing Wind is another bet for you as well. Golden Boy, what are you thinking?
I'm a bit behind the 8 ball. I was busy all day yesterday, unfortunately, for some reasons I can't explain. But I'll go Brave Hearts. I looked at the back end of the card because I knew we were doing the 3 big races. Yep. He's going to 2,000 from a mile, and the 2,000's going to suit him. Yep. He trialled the other day, trialled very, very well, and he's going to be not short, I wouldn't think. So he'll be a best bet.
Okay, so here's a nice little prize for us. Race 6, number 6, to be ridden by Matthew Poon, if you don't mind.
That's great.
Great work, Hutchbuster.
Thank you.
Golden Boy, always a bloody pleasure to see you, my friend.
Lovely to see you, and can't wait for Hong Kong. Only a few weeks away, boys.
I know. Hopefully...
Make sure you got that bag packed.
Oh, yeah, we've got the bag packed. Make sure you remember your passport too, and look forward to bringing you with a whole lot of action, exclusive content to Triple Trio while we're away. Hopefully we found a winner or two. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you next week.
Good luck.